guys. How you doing?
Hey, we're great.
Hey.
Yeah.
The digital laptop lifestyle
great.
experts. It's great
Yeah.
to
Nice
see
to
you
see you.
guys.
Yeah, you too.
Great to see you.
Cheers.
Look
You
at
ready?
that. You've even made our coffees already.
We're really well organised.
That's it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Excited. All right, should we sit down and have a quick chat and
Sure.
see how
let's
things
do
are
it.
going with you guys?
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Thanks,
Cool, cool. All right. Hey there, it's Jay Kubasek and Stuart Ross, and welcome to the Academy. Here we have our good friends and partners, Greg and Fiona Scott, the laptop lifestyle experts, here with their book. And what we want to do today is introduce you to them and have them tell you their story and a little bit about their journey, their transformation here with us from the corporate world, corporate UK, to living this laptop lifestyle and being digital entrepreneurs, having the digital lifestyle, published authors, successful business coaches, traveling around the world, just living the ultimate dream. So we're really, really excited to have them here to share that story with you. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, we're great. Awesome.
Good.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you for
yeah.
coming. Thank you for being here and,
No problem.
and sharing your story. So why don't we go back to, God, where did this all begin? Where did this all begin? What were you doing? What kind of jobs? Where did this all start?
Gosh, it sort of takes us back to 2009 was when our journey started, and I was a chartered accountant, a group financial controller, managing the purse strings, of a boutique bank, and sort of dealing with all the red tape of the Financial Services Authority, and all sorts of tedious stuff like that as it was back then.
And I was a project manager, so we were both in corporate Britain, both working long hours, going to lots of meetings. Oh my God, I hated the meetings. And someone just needs to mention a meeting to me these days. And
You come out in a
I
cold
come out in
sweat.
a cold
Cold
sweat.
sweat.
Yeah.
So another conference call. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So
A meeting about a meeting.
A meeting
I remember
about a
those.
meeting.
Yeah.
Forming a committee on those ones.
Yeah. So this was what year? 2000.
2009.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, so we were working our butts off, and one of the rewards of my job back then is, after having done, your 7 years solid service, I got awarded a sabbatical, a 3-month sabbatical on full pay.
Yeah, that was nice.
It was nice. So what did we do? We, we maxed out our credit cards and we flew off around the world first class. First
Wow.
class everywhere, really nice hotels. There is no better feeling than getting on a plane and turning left, shall we say. So, we were winging our way around the world. We did some amazing things. We went to Canada, we went skiing, we did dog sledding up in the Yukon.
Yeah, driving our own dogs around, minus 30 degrees, but then we went to Borneo as well, so there's like from one extreme to the other, so we just went all over the place.
That's where
and that
the dead-eyed dick with a blowpipe story comes from.
Well, it makes sense now because I remember a story. I don't know if it's a verbal or if it's from the book where you talk about flying first class in Air Canada, flying into was it Vancouver or
Vancouver,
wherever?
Japan.
Yeah, right. From Japan or to Japan, you were on their way.
Yeah, we went from London, Vancouver, Japan, then down to New Zealand. where
That
we're
would have
from.
sucked first class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really hard.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So you're on the sabbatical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You-
and we went and visited people at home in New Zealand, and on the way back, we just had a week to relax on the beach in Koh Samui in Thailand. So this is the last day of our holiday. We're flying back to London the following day to start back at work on the Monday, and I had my work mobile with me, and I just had a look, and it was ringing on the last day, and it was my boss calling from London, and I looked at the phone. I thought, it's a bit weird, he hasn't been in touch with the whole 3 months that I've been away. Why is he ringing now for? So I thought, but we'd had such a fun time, so I just took the call, and he goes, we don't want you to come into work on Monday.
He said, meet me in the lawyer's offices on Monday before work. And that was
probably not to give you another 3 months sabbatical.
No, it wasn't. No,
Okay.
no,
No.
it was like that was it.
There was
That
a knot
job
in the
done.
stomach, I
Yeah.
expect.
Yeah,
the
that was-
news was
Yeah.
the news was all bad, and it was quite upsetting,
Kick
wasn't
in the
it?
stomach.
Yeah,
I
it
can
was. Yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
So yeah,
And I'd already quit my job
What-
to do the 3 months travel as well.
Like,
So
more specifically,
Yeah.
what were the feelings? What were you feeling? Like scared shitless? Petrified? Or-
absolutely.
no,
yeah,
used, spat
Yeah,
out,
that's what it was.
taken advantage of. You know, I mean, everyone says that you know that a job is not for life, but you just sort of think people are paying lip service about it. You know, you don't think it can ever happen to you. You don't think you're just going to
Yeah.
have the whole rug pulled out from under your feet.
Because you're expected to invest everything, put your heart into your
Yeah.
work, commit, do your best,
yeah,
but at any moment it can be taken from you. So it's a
Yeah.
one-way. The loyalty is a one-way street.
Absolutely.
You're
That's-
expected
that
to be
was-
loyal, and you said 7 years, right?
That was the main thing that we felt would been used. You know, it just felt like all that work you put in, all that hard work over the years, working really hard to get like 1% pay increase and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it's just a real.
But
blow.
also, you know, going through education system, whether that be school, uni, college,
Yeah.
you know, we are often programmed for the safe, secure job.
Yeah.
So, you know, at one side you think that is the safe option. In reality, I think my experience, particularly post-recession here in the UK, a job is really not safe. It's
right,
not
yeah.
a safe option.
no.
I guess the one thing about that is that company's gone broke now. So
Well, there you go. No longer around. Must have been Fiona's exit. That was the end.
The galling thing, you know, when you're an accountant, when you're a financial controller, and you know the finances of the company, and then they turn around, you know, and say, you know, we're making budgetary cuts, and you're going. You know, it's just such a bad feeling because people look at you and think, well, weren't you the financial controller? You know, shouldn't you have known better? Type thing. So yeah, there was a
Wow.
lot of that mixed up stuff going on
Yeah,
as well.
I can
yeah.
see. Took it personal, way more than Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, long story short, because I'm sure you know probably a lot of people watching this will either know of someone that's been made redundant, you know, someone else that's just been used and spat out like that. But long story short, it was absolutely the best thing that ever happened to us, wasn't it?
yeah, but it was kind of like it was a big decision because we were thinking, right, are we, we're under so much stress at work. Are we going to go back into that and just start doing the same thing over and over again, or are we going to go and start our own business? And we decided to start our own business. We really didn't
Because
know what we
Actually, what it made
we'd
me
do.
realise is that just the stress of work. You know, I was 20 kilos heavier than what I am now, and I like a drink now, but you know, we were drinking endlessly back then, and just you know the office politics, the bickering, you know, and just all of that.
Yeah.
You know, you put up
War
with
on
it.
you, yeah.
put up with
Breaking out
it
in a cold
because you.
sweat just thinking about it.
Wow.
You put up with it
Yeah.
when you're in the element because you don't you just think you have to survive it, but to get away from all that is
So had this not happened, where your job was taken from you, would you have, on your own, voluntarily started a business at any point? I mean, if that job hadn't been taken away, would you still be there today?
no, would still be treading the
doing it, yeah.
boards, would
Because
still be
that's-
that little hamster
That's
in the
easy.
wheel.
That's the easy option. So that's what you do. You know, it's safe. Well, you think it's safe, but
I can imagine the experience of travelling first class, and that must have started a bit of a bug for it. It
Yeah.
must have been like I've had, because I remember when my year of travel, funnily enough, was 2009, a year after I'd started doing really well on the internet.
yeah,
And I was asked yesterday by one of our students, what am I passionate about? What's my passionate in terms of hobbies and things like that? And I said, you know, my biggest passion is travel, more than any sport, more than you know, spectating any sport. My passion is travel, and I think once you get that bug, if you're that type of
Yeah.
person, like laptop lifestyle experts,
Yeah.
it's difficult to lose it. You know,
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
want to do it as much as possible.
that's the same for us. That's our big reason is just travel. We
Travel,
just
yeah.
love travel.
Lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you guys,
Absolutely.
so let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
Yeah.
So what inspired the book?
The mistakes that we made. I
The
think
mistakes
wasn't it?
that we made, and we wanted to, you know, so setting up an online business just, you know, it sounds cliche, but it completely changed our life But we had to have our eyes open because we didn't even realise that there was an alternative income model
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
was it.
we've both been to uni. You know, we've both. I had to do accounting qualifications. You know, Greg had to do Microsoft certification exams, and that just sort of makes you think that you've got to stay in that job for the rest of your life.
But we literally didn't know there was an alternative.
And how did you find out that? When were you awoken to there is an alternate path? There's a different way.
We got some spam in the mail.
And you wondered, is there-
I went and chucked it in the rubbish, and Fiona dug it out because it looked a bit interesting.
Her
Okay.
intuition kicked in,
It
the
was-
woman's intuition.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and we just went to an event, and that's when it was like our eyes were open because we just didn't know this
You were
existed.
bitten by the lifestyle bug.
Yeah.
Wow. What if
Yeah.
we can have our cake and eat it too? How
Yeah.
crazy would that
Yeah.
be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
So-
2009, then 2000. So what happened? 2010, 2011.
2010, we met Stuart.
This is true. I remember it very
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, and that kind of changed stuff for us because up till then we'd been playing around basically, so we were just
Messing
messing
around
around and looking at all sorts of different schemes and
Schemes and
stuff like
push
that.
button and
Oh, they're
the-
amazing.
the-
How to make money.
I love
yeah.
the big
Magic,
button,
magic
yeah.
bullets and
Yeah.
quick wins.
Yeah, and it
So
was
you-
kind of like we needed to get put back on track because we
Yeah.
were just all over the place.
So you started investing in yourself, and you've
Yeah.
acquired
Yeah.
Big
all
time.
of these skill sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made all of the mistakes.
Yeah.
And you wrote the book in 2011. Was it?
2011.
12, yeah.
2011.
We wrote it in 2011. It was published early in 2012. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you went from being a student to a teacher in 2 years.
Probably
And,
under 2 years.
Under 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incredible. What would you say is the biggest mistake that you've made, in the biggest lesson that you've learned? For
Making
someone
that
hasn't-
transition. Yeah,
making that transition for someone who hasn't read the book.
The biggest lesson is that you are your own worst boss. We went from being told what to do in the corporate world, and then we had to use our own time and use it wisely. And it's so easy just to think, oh, we don't really need to do that till tomorrow, so let's go out for a walk or do whatever. And it's just keeping yourself motivated. I think is.
I think, and I think a lot of people say, how long is it going to take me to be successful online? And I just say it takes this long, because working out how to your mindset and how to hold yourself accountable, I think was our biggest lesson,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, I think we'd agree that's
Yeah.
the biggest challenge for most people to transition from someone telling you what to do and being an employee where
I think,
You
and I
just
think one of the biggest
do that
breakthroughs,
self.
one of the biggest breakthroughs we had as a community, and you've walked really through all of this
Yeah.
from the start. But I think the biggest takeaway from our community perspective that we hear all the time is needing the steps
Yeah.
in a step-by-step fashion
Yeah.
Yeah.
in terms of you need to do this, then you need to do this, then
Yeah.
you need to do this, because so many people want this lifestyle. So many people want to make money online, and they go out and they do invest in their education. They're buying a course over here, they're buying something from there, they're
Yeah.
reading a book over there, and what they're trying to do is figure it all out, and it's like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
And too often, there's a lot of pieces missing out of that jigsaw.
Or
Yeah.
else you haven't got the picture on the box lid
Yeah,
of the picture
absolutely.
that you're
Yeah,
trying
just
to make.
figure out. And
yeah,
Yeah.
or like Legos, right? It's
Yeah.
it looks like
It's
this
Lego.
Lego. We call them Legos in Canada.
but yeah, so
But that's
Yeah.
no, sorry, but you can have the vision for it, and it looks difficult and complicated, but if you follow the steps,
Yeah.
my 4-year-olds or 5-year-olds, they can.
I think we
Figure it
just
out.
really overcomplicated stuff as well, and the system that we have got in the SFM is just so much simpler.
Yeah.
I literally, when we started out, I thought I need to build a website, so I went and started from scratch, and I started doing HTML and all this sort of thing, and it's just
Yeah.
took me forever.
So
That's why
what
he's got
point,
no hair left.
what point did you realize that doing everything yourself from scratch was just not feasible because you would run out of time or money or both
Yeah.
before you had and that a modular type business like our business model business system
Yeah.
is the secret. So
Yeah.
was that when you found Stuart in
Yeah,
2010?
that's
Yeah.
literally when we found Stuart, because then we could see that there's an easy way to do stuff.
I also think we're slow learners, though,
we're very
aren't we?
slow learners.
I mean, you can tell we're no spring chickens. But
You're not
You
slow.
can't be too slow. To change your life that quickly is a pretty good achievement.
Yeah.
Good.
So, what would you say to someone who they're not in a position where they're forced to do what you had to do? And you even admitted it. You'd still be working the job if it wasn't forced on you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people wait until something like that happens. Not everyone,
Yeah.
but I'd say a good percentage
Yeah.
do. But what would you say to those who do still have the job and they are relatively comfortable and they don't really have to make a change, but they just want more? Is it worth it just because you want more, that you want better?
Yeah,
I think the path?
I think the way that I look at it is that it's insurance. So because no jobs are secure these days, starting to do something like this is it's insurance for what happens. You can do it in your spare time, and if something does happen, then you've got that backup. So I think that's.
I mean, on that point, I think over the years I've learned that there are individuals that want freedom, and there are individuals that demand it, and they're going to do whatever it takes to
Yeah.
achieve it.
Yeah.
And I think if there's one thing that I've noticed across all of our students who really go out there, work hard, get the results, and create the lifestyle, their intrinsic drive is freedom. Flexibility. They don't want a boss. They don't want to commute to work. They don't want to, be the beck and call of someone. Yes, money comes into it often. A lot of people do say they have more month than money, and the money is an amazing aspect. But one thing I've noticed is that I've had students over the years have been like, I want to make loads of money. They sometimes even like their jobs, and the money isn't really enough to get them to follow through, to turn up to the webinars, to turn up to the events. But those people that are like, do you know what, I'm doing this because I want freedom. These are the people
and
that...
it's not just freedom for themselves either.
Absolutely.
Like when we had 3 months in Australia last year, we flew our parents out to have a holiday.
Yeah,
You know,
yes.
so a lot of the people that are coaching are doing it for their kids too. So that their kids can have a decent education, and also to teach their kids to be entrepreneurial. I just think is just
Absolutely.
the biggest motivator
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
On that point, I think it's also fair to say that by investing in yourself and learning these skills and it's, like you said, they use the word insurance.
Yeah.
You're insulating yourself from what could go wrong. That's empowering. Like that was really empowering to me to know you can't take this away from me. What I'm investing in myself is for the future. I tell this story all the time about being at an employee party at Midas, where I used to work in Kansas, and business was over 40 years old. The founder, Gary Gilbert, he started at 8th grade education, started from scratch. And one of his first employees, his name was Sam. We were celebrating his 40th year working. It was at this company barbecue on this big ranch.
Yeah.
And there was all this, hullabaloo with the kids and the wives, and we were, just having this great Sunday afternoon thing. And they recognized Sam and give him this commemorative coin for his 40 years of service. And I remember thinking to myself, that's me in 40 years. And Gary had offered, he said, you need to decide how many of these shops do you want to own one day. And then I saw that, and poor Sam. I mean, his knees were shot, he had knees replaced, his hips were shot, he was pretty much limp. He was actually a liability to the company. He didn't even know that. He wasn't even covering his own cost of employment. He had nothing to show for it. And he got a coin.
Gold coin.
And
I think I'd rather
that, that just...
They might as well have
It
been
was
stronger
sobering
than
to me.
him, haven't they?
And I just had this moment where I thought, that's me in 40 years. If I don't start taking action today to make sure that I don't end up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things I do want to address is that the thing that excites me so much about the digital economy now is that where technology was much more of a hurdle, we're moving into this phase now where technology has become so simple, push button in terms of, to create a website, anybody can do it, click a few buttons, adding content, uploading photos. It's something that anybody can do. Business systems like Jay and I have been creating really do give people the opportunity to create what we like to call a digital lifestyle without being technical. So if you were to give somebody some advice or guidance or feedback that was thinking, do you know what, like this all sounds great, I'd love to make money from my laptop, I'd love to be able to travel the world, I'd love to sack my boss, not commute, but they don't get their start because they think that they haven't got the skills or they haven't got the capability to learn some of this technical stuff, what would you say to them? What advice would you give
We
them?
didn't have any of those skills when we started. I
No.
mean, we honestly we didn't.
And I used to think I was a technophobe, didn't I?
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
a
you did,
nightmare,
yeah.
nightmare to Greg. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, Jay
tou-
definitely is.
touch any piece of software, you know, and I'll find the flaws in it, lickety split. But it's if you can copy and paste, I reckon,
Yeah.
and if you can send an email, and if you can search on for information on Google.
That's pretty much
I
it.
know
Yeah.
that's
You've
in
got
a
what you need to
nutshell,
do.
but
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, there's nothing much you need to do these days. It's so simple.
It's beautiful with the
Yeah.
digital business.
Yeah.
It's all plugins, it's apps, it's modular, and it's
Yeah.
like building
Yeah.
Lego.
That's- yeah.
Putting the pieces together and making it all work.
Yeah.
And as a testament to that, you're also coaches in the community as well
Yeah.
for our
Yeah.
gold members who get free coaching.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that experience and how does that feel to go in just a few years from being a student to now giving back, being published authors, touring around the world, traveling around the world, living and embodying this lifestyle,
yeah.
and then also being able to do one-to-one coaching with our other gold members as well.
I think what we love about coaching is that we get just as much out of it as what we
Yeah.
put in
It's
as
really
well.
rewarding.
We're speaking to people all over the world, and we learn just as much from them as they do from us. And it's just, and again, Fiona said something about being cliched. I mean, helping other people is really satisfying. You know, it's a really good feeling when you just come off a call and someone says that was just amazing, and you think, I only just told them some really simple things, but it's
No, but-
changing people's
I
lives.
think one of the
Yeah,
things.
and it's amazing
Yeah.
their reaction
Yeah.
when they. We were speaking to a lady today, and she said, "I got my first lead," you know, and just the excitement in her voice
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
you know, palpable.
I think one of the greatest things that we can do is provide that hope for people as well.
Yeah.
Because, the end result is great. We all want that. I remember when I quit my job, I mean, the feeling was phenomenal. But what I love about this whole experience and watching our students going through the experience is for so many of them just having something new, something that they can get passionate about, even before the result of freedom and flexibility,
Yeah.
just having something that they
Something
can
to
come
believe
home
in,
from, something they can
Exactly.
believe in.
Yeah.
And that starts right from the very first conversation with
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, just believing that they can do it, hearing case studies like yours, knowing it can be done. It's not just about the guys that got in their 20s and being able to do well. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
awesome on that front.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that lady I was talking about, she's actually out in the Himalaya, so
Wow.
we get to speak to people from all walks of life,
Yeah.
all the way around the world, different backgrounds, different skill levels, and it couldn't be a bigger melting pot, if we even tried, and everybody
Yeah.
is making a go of it. And
I mean, you'll get to meet her soon because I think she's flying into the academy in May.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So you started off with this, and you were even welling up your eyes with tears when you talked about being made redundant, and so it started with that, and you also said that you still wake up in cold sweats just thinking about that life. It's fair to say that you didn't love your life at that point. You were surviving.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this: do you love your life today?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, double hands.
Would you
up,
say
yeah,
that you're
yeah,
living a digital life?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we mentioned before that we went to Australia for 3 months last year. We also went to the south of France for 2 months. We're going to Beverly Hills for probably 3 months this year. And literally, we can work from our laptop. We just take our laptop. That's
Oh,
it.
that's not just a
Yeah.
clever
It's not, no.
thing that
That's-
you wrote a book about.
That's, you literally, you can work from your laptop. We can speak to people anywhere in the world from our laptop. We can do anything on our laptop, and it's just incredible. And we've just got freedom, because we can stay somewhere for 3 months, and just
And
work when
our
you want to.
skiing's
Yeah.
got really, really good as well, because
Yeah.
we can have extended,
Yeah.
extended holidays on the
Yeah.
ski slopes.
So, what would you say are your top 3 priorities in life now, and how they're different than they were back then? So, like, what's important to you today in life?
The most important thing to us is to live it. not to be stuck on a treadmill. It's to live your life, and because live every day.
In
That's,
the moment, in the
in
now.
the moment, absolutely.
I
Yeah,
mean, just
yeah.
I know. I mean, it's kind of interrupting before you go on to 2 and 3, but I think you made an important point there, because one of the things that I remember struggling with so much is this concept of when I'm here, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
When I'm
Anticipation.
here, I'll be this. When I'm there, I'll have made it. And when I'm there, I'll have purpose, or I'll have peace of mind. But you're never living in the now, because
Yeah.
you're always
Mhm.
waiting
Yeah.
for that next
Yeah,
thing.
you're living
Yeah.
to retire. It's like I've got to
Yeah.
put in 40 years so that I
Yeah.
can retire and start living my life.
But what you're effectively saying is the most important thing is living each day for that
Yeah,
day, and
absolutely,
I
yeah,
completely
yeah.
relate to that. It's,
And being happy as well, and having that freedom, it makes you happy, and you don't have to be a multi-billionaire to do it and stuff,
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
it's just being happy
Yeah.
and living it, living
Yeah.
every day as a
But we
moment.
do quite often pinch ourselves, don't we?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Still have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
pinch
Yeah, I
ourselves
still
and
do.
think,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
still
yeah,
do.
yeah.
So you're saying priority one is living in the now, living, really enjoying. What else would you say is a
Well, you
sort
said
of-
happiness and freedom. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I guess the other thing is don't overcomplicate stuff. We in our book we say how much we overcomplicated stuff, and it's actually really simple what we do.
Yeah.
Don't overcomplicate it because you don't need to. I guess just because humans like to do that because it can't be that easy, and just do the simplest things that you can are usually the most effective.
Awesome.
just
Keep it simple and
follow
have
your
fun.
passion
Follow
and
your
live
passion,
your
yeah.
why.
Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Well, thank
Brilliant,
you very
brilliant.
much, guys.
Yes,
We've,
thank you for
enjoyed
sharing that
having you.
story, and
Yeah.
hopefully, if you're watching this, you're inspired to take action and know that you can change your life and create a digital life. And you can certainly do that by joining our community and being part of this movement and meeting phenomenal people like Greg and Fiona Scott. So thanks again very much
Yep.
for spending a few minutes with us. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
pleasure.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Cheers.
Okay, cheers.